Calling all bread lovers, got soda bread cravings? Let's whip up a batch of my family's Irish soda bread the easy way. Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV. I'm your host, Peter Lee. Today, our celebration is all about an old family recipe of mine. We're celebrating Irish soda bread. What is Irish soda bread, and how is it different from regular bread? The difference is regular bread uses yeast as a leavener, which makes the dough rise. Soda bread uses baking soda. It also gives it a little different texture and a little different flavor. Now, I said this was a family recipe. Here is my family recipe box. And I was going through it recently, and I came across this little card. And here it is, Irish soda bread. I don't know how old this recipe is or where it came from, but I do know that when my mother was first married in 1951, she got all of her family recipes and typed them out onto index cards. Now, Irish soda bread is one of those things that varies family by family. Everyone has their own way of doing it, so really there's no right way and there's no wrong way. This is how my family does it. Now, my mom didn't make this recipe very often because she had to do everything by hand. I brought it into the 21st century and I've made it a lot easier. The first thing I did was I prepared my pan. I have an 8-inch pan. You can use a square pan, a round pan, it does not matter. I buttered it. I've tried it with cooking spray, but sometimes the cooking spray burns. I find butter might get a little toasty and it just adds to the flavor. Now, how are we modernizing this? We're going to do this all in the food processor. The food processor will sift and combine all the dry ingredients where my mother would have had to do all that by hand. We're going to start with flour. I have here 2 cups or 270 grams of all-purpose flour. Right in. Next up is baking soda. It is soda bread after all. 3/4 of a teaspoon is all you need. And again, this is what's going to help make it rise. Salt is next. 3/4 of a teaspoon. And this is table salt, not kosher salt. This is a finer grain. It will mix in better. Now I want to add a little bit of sweetness. And I'm going to do that with a tablespoon of sugar. Again, just plain granulated sugar. All right, lid on. We're going to give this 3 or 4 pulses to sift it and combine all those ingredients. Next up is butter. 3 ounces, 75 grams of cold butter that I cut into pieces. We're going to pulse this 2 or 3 times or until it looks like the size of a small pea. That's pretty good. Next up, we're going to add some fruit. I have here first a 1/4 cup or 30 grams of raisins. I have the same amount of currants. Now, what's the difference? Here in America, we can't get real currants. So these are both grapes. The currants are a different type of grape that's very close to a real currant, and they're both dried. You can see these are a lot smaller than the regular raisins. Slightly different flavor. Both of these go right in. Next up is something you might find a little controversial. Some families use it, some don't. Mine does. Caraway seeds. This is 1 tablespoon of caraway, and it's going to add a little pop of flavor, almost like a rye bread. It'll be wonderful. Right in. Couple of pulses just to combine. You don't want to overdo it at this point because you don't want to chop up the fruit and the seeds. Just 1 or 2. Next, we need to add some moisture to pull this all together. We're going to do that in the form of buttermilk. This is 6 ounces, 180 mils of buttermilk. This is also going to react with the baking soda that's going to help it rise. Again, I just want to pulse this until the mixture is just moistened. Now we want to turn this out onto our board. Let's get this all out of here. Now it doesn't look much like a bread right now, does it? Actually, it looks more like baking powder biscuit dough. If you've ever made baking powder biscuits, or sometimes called southern biscuits, you know this is what they look like. So all we have to do is just pull this together. We're not kneading, but we want to pull it together into a ball. Just that quickly. Remember that buttered pan? This goes right in. Just like that. Now, this is ready for the oven. I'm going to bake this off 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 Celsius, for 40, maybe 45 minutes. So off to the oven. Here we are out of the oven. It's been about 40 minutes, and then I let this rest for about 10 more minutes just to relax. Now let's do a quick recap. This, the way my mother made it, having to do everything manually would take her a good hour. She'd have to sift the ingredients and cut in the butter manually. We did it in 5 minutes with a food processor. How fun is that? Now, let's cut this open, see what it looks like. Look at that. That is beautiful. Smells rich. Smell that caraway seed. Let's give it a little taste. I like nice thick slices of my soda bread. Now, I have a little Irish butter here, believe it or not, to put on this Irish soda bread. This is Kerrygold butter. You should be able to find it in your supermarket, probably with the higher end cheeses and things. But you want a good butter. You don't want to put margarine on it. Nice soft butter. Let's give this a little taste. Oh yeah. Hold on. Hold on. I can't. This is just too good. It's rich. There's sweetness from the currants and the raisins. Then you get these little pops from the caraway seeds. It's tender on the inside, but crunchy on the outside and full of flavor. Now you saw me already wash it down. I'm having a little Irish whiskey today. A little bit of Jameson, because why not? Irish butter, Irish soda bread, and some Irish whiskey. If you like this episode, sign up for our newsletter and get the recipes in your inbox. Then help us out. Help us grow the channel by hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like button, and hitting the notification bell so you'll never ever miss an episode. Now, my family is here. My kids and grandkids are here. We're going to have dinner. I'm going to share this with them. While we're having our dinner, I want you to hang out and watch some of these episodes over here. So until next time, everyone, cheers.